Hey, and welcome to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to this Fit Me to a Fitness podcast episode. And today's session, I'm talking about my own fitness journey and especially my workout. So, as many of you already know a little bit about my background, I'm at the moment recording this. I'm 42 years old, and I must say I have been more or less consistent my whole life with my workouts. But there are some phases like. It's like over 10 years ago now when I completely lost my motivation, and there are reasons why that happened. And now when I'm looking back, what kind of mistakes I made at that time, and what I would do differently if I look back earlier, and also what I'm currently doing, as I'm not working out probably as much as I used to be, but in this story, I don't know if that interests someone. It feels kind of weird talking about myself, as I'm most of my episodes, they have been helpful content for different kind of people, but this is like kind of myself talking about my own workouts, and maybe you find some valuable tips from this episode. And if it does help you, feel free to reach out, sending me DM in my Instagram, or email me turo@fitmeturo.com if you have any feedback about this episode, or if it was helpful, what was your biggest takeaway. So, because I really appreciate all those messages, love to have conversations. So don't feel ashamed that why I should write for Turo, that it's not worth of it, or he will not reply. I promise I will reply every single email, every single DM I get. Or at least as many as I can, and really love to connect with you and help you just if I can. So, sip of water, and then let's get into the episode. So, first of all, a little bit about my background. Like, as you know, I was a professional ice hockey player. I was never a top player. I made it, if I think now back, pretty much highest possible way with my talents, with my skills, and because if I think back, that there were times, like, for sure, it's like a hockey. If you are good enough, you will always have a possibility. You will get your chances, but then there are many different players are at the same level, and it's really about small things that can really literally change your life. So if I think about my hockey career, I'm really grateful that I could make it for my living, and that was my goal kind of always. I was never some superstar NHL player. I was kind of a lower league player, but still made it for living. I was just playing professionally for almost a decade. So really grateful to be able to do something what is your hobby, what you enjoy doing, and to get paid for it. So that is a little bit about my background. So obviously, when I was younger, I started to play ice hockey. I was 7 years old, and we always back home in Finland. I'm originally coming from Finland, so we love to play all kind of games. We were playing at the time. There were not so many computer games or anything. We were always outside. We were playing in our garden, just the hockey games, and we had a kind of ice place where was a natural ice. I can't remember, but I assume it was like 4 to 6 months, maybe not 6, but at least 4 months of the year, there was ice and you could go there playing. And I remember vividly how they closed the lights. I can't remember, was it at 8 o'clock in the evening or 9 o'clock in the evening, but we played always until they closed the lights and we had to go away. So it was just playing with the friends, not thinking about that if that is going to be my profession. It was just something we naturally enjoyed with my friends, and playing there all night. So obviously it all started from that. And then at the age of 7, my mom asked that if I would like to join for the team, and it was the first time I joined for the team, and then I really got into hockey and practicing. So that's how I kind of got started with sports, and I'm like, when I look back, I'm so grateful that I joined for a team, found friends who are still one of my, like, even we are not staying probably that much in touch, but still, even those who I started playing with, there is still some of like good friends, and who if I still meet them, we will for sure talk about, and you will I will always remember all those kind of relationships, what we had, what kind of coaches we had, who were playing with you, and what kind of teams you had. So I think that was a kind of first experience that was so beneficial also later in life, not only playing hockey, but kind of creating those social connections, building friends, being every year with the new team. So that is really really beneficial. If I think later on, like, it doesn't matter where I go, if I go for new environment, because that was kind of my job for almost 15 or 20 years. You have almost every year new team. You have 20 new kind of working friends or teammates, and you gotta get along with everyone. So this is about hockey and team sports in general. What I think it's so beneficial having that kind of ability to be able to work with so many people. So obviously, if I think back my own workouts, like obviously that was in the beginning, it was all about I was training only for becoming a better hockey player, and uh, and that was kind of there was that kind of performance that I wanted to improve my skills in a hockey. It was a shooting, it was a drills, it was getting stronger, getting faster, all these kind of performance based goals from very young age. And uh, and one thing what I remember vividly, like I think I was 13, 14, 15, so like in my teenage years, and some coach introduced me to filling out workout diary, and I got really obsessed about like writing down. Obviously at the time there were no kind of apps what you could be using. Like now, if I look, I have my own workout app where I can see I have planned what kind of workouts I'm going to do, and I'm staying track. I can look back for past years what I have been doing to see my strength training, like how much weight I have been using. So I can track everything back since I have started using it. And that is so beneficial. But obviously at the time, there were no such apps. It was just a pen and paper, and you filled out every day what you were doing. You had a printed paper for your workout program, and that I was trying to follow through as well as possible. And then I was writing just that I did speed training for 1 hour. Then I was playing tennis for 2 hours. I was running for an hour. I did stretching for 30 minutes. So I got really obsessed of filling out that workout diary, and it was such a motivator for me at that age. Like I remember vividly, I was 1 week in the summer. I was on average weeks, I was working out maybe 1,000 minutes per week. So how much that is, like at then 20 hours per week. So or even a bit less, but 1 week I got like 2,000 minutes. And obviously it was like some big goal for me. I want to get 2,000 minutes in, and that was like I was stretching, like obviously it was including everything, like what I counted, like I was playing tennis for 3 hours, then I was stretching for an hour, and it was like a full-time job. Like I did, obviously at the time I didn't work, that was only thing what I did, but 2,000 minutes for 1 week, like obviously there was a lot of like recovery work, like stretches, but that was like I was so proud of myself. And this was kind of motivator for me at the time. Was like I always was one of the guys who wanted to work harder, and it was not I didn't think about like working smarter, but it was all about working hard and getting the work done and doing the most I can. And I remember it was like 15, age of 15, 16. We had a younger, like we started to select kind of like a national team in Finland, or pre-national team from a region. And I was kind of in pre-selection, but I didn't make it to national team. And there were like some of my teammates who got selected. And then I was looking at, fuck, I'm gonna be better than those guys. And then I was looking, we were living pretty close and working out together. And then I knew that that guy, he didn't work as much. And I said, if I want to be better than him, I must work more than he did. And I was making sure that I did always something a little bit more than he did. And eventually, like that was at the age of 15, 16 years, like, and that was kind of turning point for me. I understood that if I, the only way, I'm not, they are, other guys were a lot more talented than I was. But that was the moment for me when I understood that with the hard work, you can beat talents. And it took like a couple of years, and I got better than those guys who were, when they were younger, they were better than me. But that with the hard work, I made sure that I was always the first one. I did all work. I didn't skip workouts. Uh, I really, that was my motivation, that I needed like to work harder and to work out more than those other ones. And that was kind of my competition or my motivation to make it as much as I could. That I said that, at least if I look at some point back, I'm not going, like our coaches were always telling that you have the chances, you have all possibilities, that do what you can, that you don't have to look back when you are retired. That if I would, and tell like these stories, as we heard from so many guys, like telling that if I would be working out, or if I would, if and then maybe I would be there. I said, I never want to say that. And now when I look back, I can't say anything that if I would do something more. So only thing what I would change at the moment is that I didn't know so much about training. So I would work probably a lot smarter. Like obviously at the time, knowledge was not as great as it is now. And now if I think that with knowledge, what I have gained with working with so many people, athletes, normal, regular people, and with that kind of knowledge, you don't need to work out that much harder if you work out smarter and focus on different things. Like, because I remember I was doing, we were doing like some speed training, like sprints, what is like, and now I know that for sprints, I need to have like a longer rest, or otherwise you don't work anymore for speed. You work more on endurance. And we did sprints, but then if there was coach was riding, like I had to rest 2 minutes, and I skipped the rest. I said, what the hell? I'm not going to rest 2 minutes if I'm good to go after 30-second or 60-second rest. And now, obviously, now I understand that I wasn't working anymore for speed. I was working for endurance. Even I didn't feel tired at the moment, obviously. And that is the kind of hardest thing to understand. If you do like speed training, you want to improve your speed. It's not that you don't need to do it a lot more. And I remember still, it was we were in kind of high school back home, and looking like there were athletics like sprinters who were training for 100-meter sprints. They did one sprint, rested like 5 minutes, did some stretches, or some were just talking there. And we were like a hockey guys. We were always like guys that we need to work harder. And we were like, that, what is that for training? Like they are there for an hour and do maybe 5-6 sprints in a whole hour. And we were like doing like really hard workout. And obviously we were tired. But now when I look back, I think that, okay, those who were training for sprints, probably they gained actually more from that workout, especially for that goal, what they had, instead of we, like obviously we learned how to work out harder, but not necessarily moving closer, especially if goal is to improve your speed. And this is something what I have learned now with my own practice, is that doing it in a right way. You don't need to put so many hours in than when you work really with the smarter, and you have a really like a program what you are following, and and changing it. Like if it's like planning a little bit, like earlier, I was never planning my workouts. It was just kind of, I was trusting my feeling, what I'm doing. And now I always like to plan out for at least, for next 3 months. Usually it's that now for next 3, 4 months, I'm going to focus on, let's say, sometime I will focus on building muscle mass. Sometimes I work on my endurance. Sometimes I work on my athletic performance. So even I don't have those kind of goals anymore. I find it so interesting to change that, shift that focus, that it's not always the same thing, and keep it kind of interesting. But I get back on that a little bit later, what I'm currently doing. And now, if I think back from my career, that was, or my younger life, that was kind of, I was working for performance. So that was all. It was all about improving my performance, and that was obviously at the time it was such a motivating thing to focus on getting better at ice hockey. And then everything obviously changed. I retired. I was 30 years old, so that's now 12, 13 years ago. And I gotta say that at the time I was so tired. In my later my last years, I wasn't anymore practicing that much in summer. I did a lot less. I saw that okay, it didn't actually impact so much on my performance anymore. I was playing at the same level. I didn't improve, but obviously that everything that kind of that work I have done so much earlier that it didn't happen. I could maintain relatively easy everything. And then when I retired, I hit the point that I was working out at gym really hard always every summer. And obviously then during the season it's more like maintenance on everything, and focusing really on playing games, and maintaining all kind of off ice things. But at the time when I retired, I was like that, okay, for what I should work out now. I didn't enjoy doing some gym workouts. So that was the first thing, is that I'm not going to go to gym. That's the last thing I want to do. And obviously then I was doing something what I actually naturally enjoy doing. Like first, maybe 2, 3 years, I didn't do basically anything. I was maybe walking sometimes. I was working in office. I had an office job at the time, so it was very inconsistently doing something. Maybe sometimes I was playing tennis, going for walks, but it was really not a lot. And then at some point it took like a couple years, and I started to see that I started to gain weight. I didn't feel well. I started to have back pain. All kind of everything started to hurt. I was around 30, and then I thought that I gotta change. And then luckily that happened, that I happened to lose that job what I had in office. I didn't have a possibility, and then I was like that, what I'm gonna do? And then I thought that okay, I kind of always enjoyed doing some kind of sports, helping others, and I was always very interested about fitness. And there was an opportunity. My wife always told me that why you don't become a coach, why you don't help start with fitness, as that is your passion, you love doing it. And then I did some courses, started everything. And now it have really come to like really passion of mine, and I really still love learning every single day something new, trying different things with myself, with my clients. And obviously in the beginning did a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. I if I look back now, workout programs, what I did right in the beginning of my career, I'm like looking at, holy shit, how the hell I could do. Like I would never ever recommend to doing those same things what I thought at the time, that those were absolutely the best workout programs. And now, after obviously every year, it's gonna be probably like if I think now what is going to happen in next maybe 5, 10 years, when I'm still planning to do this job, I'm gonna look probably back what I'm doing now, that I might think that what the hell I was doing at the time. But that's how every coach should feel, that when you look your workout programs from years, and if you don't find anything what you would do different, you stay where you are. So there is always some room for improvements, seeing what actually works. If you either you try yourself or you see what kind of results your clients get, what type of clients need what kind of exercises. So you learn through that process so much, and that was what I learned too. So for me, during that time, like I said, it was not when I started then my coaching. That's now like a bit more than 8 years ago. And at the time, it was still, I didn't change a lot. I obviously started to do some kind of body weight workouts. If I look pictures now, I was very thin. I have lost almost my all muscle mass. And I still love group workouts. I still do them. I still enjoy doing them with my clients. There hit the COVID. I did a lot of kind of body weight workouts. They were more like a random workouts. Obviously, you work certain muscles. That's what I always try to include to my workouts, my group workouts also, that you work through your whole body. So you have full body workout. And sometimes I tried myself with different kind of splits, upper, lower, full body splits, because there is so much different things what you could be trying. But what I have seen, what works for most people, like obviously it depends on your workout days, everything, but full body workouts are the best. Like obviously, if you are someone like working out 5, 6 times a week, then probably I would split those workout splits. But for me, it had been always like kind of full body workouts 2 to 3 times per week, sometimes maybe four. But that has been a game changer, that you get that more frequently, even it's a bit less. It is for long-term results, and what I have seen with my clients, they tend to get better results. Why is that? Because if you think that why those all, like most of us, we don't try to become bodybuilders. So if you get even a little bit less work, but in a form of it comes more often, and what happens often is that you miss one workout there, one workout there. And let's say that if you have let's say you do upper lower body split and you miss your leg day, and then you have in the end of the week, you might have 2, 3 weeks that you don't basically never train your legs. So even it's a little bit less, it's always, you will see so much like that consistency and that frequency matters so much more than hitting, following your plan perfectly. So when everything changed for me was 3 years ago now. It's now we are 2024 and 2021. I made a decision that I need to start strength training. I knew it. I was talking myself so long out of it. I said that, but then something happened. I said, now I need to start. I need to do it. Like I started to feel like my back was hurting, everything. There was so much pain, and I wasn't happy how I felt. Even I was in a good shape, but I wasn't feeling well, or my body didn't feel well, and I was not even. I didn't have too much fat, but I wasn't. The feeling what I have now was totally different in my body. I wasn't confident anything. But then I made a decision that I'm gonna get started. It was such a embarrassing feeling, because it's obviously I have done strength training in the past, and when I remember in my best ice hockey player times, I was squatting like 200 kilos, and now after over a decade without barely or any strength training, I go for doing some squats, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna get started with 60 or 50 kilos. And I think I had a 50 or 60 kilos. I still remember my legs were shaking. I couldn't walk for a week. I could barely do 10 repetitions. And same thing with the bench press and all those exercises. When you remember, and I remember exactly how much I used to have, how much I used to lift. And then you get back and you are like 1/3 or even less what you had, and you feel so bad. And I was like, holy shit, I have lost everything. But then I said, I gotta get started again. And actually it took maybe 3 months, 2 to 3 months. In the beginning, it was 2 times per week for first 2, 3 months. And then I said, okay, now I'm at the point that 3 times is sustainable. So started to working out 3 times per week. And like I said, 2 to 3 months. and I got pretty close to those strength levels. So it's just a sign of muscle memory, what is actually a real thing. So if you have obviously I didn't get improved, I didn't get stronger than I was, but I got pretty close to those my strength levels what I had earlier, just starting to doing it again. So so muscle memory is something that your body remembers. You are getting relatively quickly back where you were, where you used to be. Obviously, then to get your personal best and something that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. But getting back, even you strength. That's one of the greatest benefits of strength training. It's that it takes even you happen to not do it, you get relatively quickly everything back. It's a bit different with the cardio. So if you cardio, you lose your you have been good runner at some point and you lose it. It takes a lot longer to get back to those same levels. But with strength training, it's relatively easy. And now my goals, if I think like I don't have any aesthetic goals anymore, like I used to work out for my performance. And obviously when I was younger, it was like looking better. And maybe it was like kind of you wanted to attract some women, or you think that you needed to have a visible abs or big biceps or whatever arms. And now I think I don't care less how I'm looking, how my body is looking. Like obviously it's a kind of bonus of doing it, what you do, but it's not the like main priority why I'm doing it. And now I'm really focusing on my health and staying pain free. And so that's basically the only reason why I'm working out. Obviously, I'm still ice hockey refereeing, so there is some kind of performance based goals. So that's why I love to work on also on my performance. And like I said, at the moment. At the minute when I'm looking my workouts, I work out, let's say 3 months, 3 to 4 months, improving my performance. Then there might be next 3 to 4 months building muscle mass. Then it might be like I love to try different things, like working on like a strongest man program. I actually created that kind of program with the help of world's or bought the program from Strongest Man, and actually I loved it. I loved the results, how it made me feel, and then like kind of different type of programs. So of course there is so many ways how you can do the strength training. Like obviously you could just got to get started, and then keeping things kind of interesting. And for me, that is the kind of the best way to do it. Like not only solely focusing on improving your strength, but just mixing a little bit on your performance and different kind of types of strength training. So this way I have been really staying motivated. And like I mentioned, my motivation is unfortunately I lost it's now 14 months ago. I lost my dad at the age of 70. He lost his health at the age of 60. And that was like a hardest thing for me. It was one of the reasons why I knew that I need to get started with the strength training. So when I saw that my dad he couldn't walk anymore, how quickly he lost his muscle mass, there was basically nothing left. There were no muscles, obviously no fat either. But he got so thin, he couldn't walk, he couldn't do anything, and I was like that. This is something that I don't want to do for myself, or if I happen to have someday kids, I don't want that they have to go through this. So this is my kind of motivation at the moment. Even I don't have any aesthetic goals, but that picture of my dad is still for me visible on every single day when I need to get started with my workout, when I don't feel like doing it. And trust me, that happens very frequently. I'm not naturally inside. I make how I stay motivated at this point is that I keep promises what I make to myself. So that is the first step. I decide I have a rule for myself that I need to decide on Sunday for the next week when I look my schedule, how many workouts I get in. And I don't need to finish my workout. Like at the moment, my workout schedule, ideal case, it would be 3 times a week, around 45 minutes. But lately it has been 2 times a week, maybe 25, maybe 30 minutes. So if I know that I can't, that's really unrealistic I make decision on Sunday that it's going to be this week. I'm going to get started 2 times per week. And it doesn't matter if it's for 5 minutes, if it's for one exercise, but I need to get started. And if it's for some reason, usually my workout days, it would be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. If I can't get started on Wednesday, then I said, okay, I don't do it today, but I start it then tomorrow. So I know exactly which day I'm going to get started. And I need to by end of the week, I need to get started 3 times per week. And I never promise myself to finish my workout, but just to get started, because usually it's just about getting there, getting started. And if I don't feel like, then I have permission to quit anytime. So this is really have helped me to stay consistent and keeping promises what I do for myself. Because earlier I would start maybe a program, do it for a week, 2, and then I'm so good at talking myself out of doing it and finding like it's reasons which might be even accurate and valid reasons. But now I decided that I'm not going to give myself that permission to not get started. So I can do a bit less, but to get started. Or if I need to have a week off, I decided week before that this week I'm not going even trying to work out. But that staying consistent, that has helped me. And like I said, that my motivation is if when those days are coming, that I'm like kind of knowing that I need to go, then I look picture of my dad reminding me why I'm actually doing it. So that pain of or fear of losing your health is at the moment is greater for me than actually getting the work done. And in the end, when I have been now, I'm 42 years old, I have basically never ever felt as good with myself, with mental energy, everything in my life. So it's really those long-term benefits what you are getting when you put yourself out of there consistently and finding your way. For I know some people, they need to motivation, they don't have that kind of deeper motivation, but for someone it's signing up for a race, for a run, 10K or marathon or whatever. Or I know some friends are doing some Spartan races or whatever, or setting like a deadlift goal or some kind of goal what you are working towards. I know that at this point I don't have any kind of performance-based goals like in that sense, because I don't want to, like I got diagnosed with enlarged aorta, and I'm not allowed to use do strength training with lower reps where I have to kind of hold my breath, which is making things only worse. So I really have to pay attention for that. But there is so many things what you can do. And this is what I'm going to implement in my life and how I have stayed for the past years consistent, literally 3 years. And I hope this helps you to find your consistency, because what I see is that there is so many people struggling with the consistency and really keeping those promises what you make to yourself. So if you always feel that you are quitting, then maybe lower your expectations. Allow yourself to start with the low and staying consistent for the first 30, 60 days. And then if you still feel like it, if you don't get enough results, you feel that you could be doing more, then it's time to add things, but do not get started with 5 times a week workout, because you know that you have to be perfect for next month, because that trust me, I've seen so many people who are starting that, and that's going to end up only that you are going to quit. You're going to feel like a failure. So don't do that. So that was episode for today. I really enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some value. Like I said, do appreciate sending me DM in my Instagram or email me turo@fitmeturo.com and let me know what you think about this episode. So thank you for listening and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me to a Fitness podcast.